again. This is Andy Nicol, the course tutor for the Perfectly Spoken Advanced course. And in this lesson, lesson 37 of the course, we'll be looking at the vocabulary area of phones, computers, and other technology. So we'll be looking at a number of different things such as collocation, simple vocabulary, and phrasal verbs. So we'll look at phone collocations, computer vocabulary, and phrasal verbs related to technology. So first of all, phone collocations. Collocations, of course, are words which go together. I put smartphone there. Obviously, nowadays, most phones are smartphones. So, I'd like you to choose the correct word in each sentence, okay? So here we go. I'm trying to download or discharge an app, but it's taking forever. So if you want to get an app from the internet and put it on your phone, we download an app, download. The opposite is, of course, upload, to upload a file, etc. Okay, number 2. Did you try to call me? I've got a lapsed or a missed call on my mobile. So if someone's tried to call you, you didn't answer, they left a message or whatever, you'd have a missed call on your mobile, a missed call. Number 3. Many people complain about the battery life or battery duration on certain mobile phones. Although duration sounds okay, it's not really natural. We talk about battery life, the battery life of a phone. Certain manufacturers, customers complain that the battery life is terrible, that they all constantly have to recharge their phones, and so on. Okay, I hardly ever use the house phone or the landline these days. I'm always using the mobile. Many years ago, I remember when I was young, we had the phones with a dial, and you had to physically go like this to ring, and of course, it was attached to a cable in the house, and there was no such thing as mobile phones. I got my first mobile phone, I think it was a Nokia, in the early 1990s, I think. No, mid to late 1990s, in fact. So, the phone that you have in your house, which is attached to a cable, which is not mobile, is a landline. Landline. Number 5. Can I charge or find my phone? The battery is almost dead. And the answer is charge. Can I charge my phone? Number 6. The reception or the reduction where I live is terrible. I have to go to a particular part of the house to use my mobile. This is actually true. I live in the mountains in Spain, in Catalonia, and actually it's very difficult to get a signal, and we talk about the reception. The reception is terrible. Your ability to connect to the mobile network, 4G or whatever, the reception. Okay, here's some more. I've got the latest clever phone or smartphone. It's got all the best apps and face recognition security. And the answer is, of course, smartphone. Smart here meaning intelligent. The new, one of the latest smartphones has got this face recognition security, so that you look at the phone and it recognizes you and so on. Lots of people have criticized it and said it's just a gimmick and so on. Anyway, number 2, you can unplug or dismantle your phone now. It's fully charged. Unplug or dismantle? Well, of course, if you dismantle your phone, it means you take it apart into all the tiny pieces. So you don't want to do that. You want to unplug your phone. Next one. Is it legal to use a hands-free or no-hands phone while driving? The expression no hands exists. Look, no hands. If you're on a bike and you're riding a bike and you take your hands off, look, no hands. But we don't talk about a no-hands phone. We talk about a hands-free phone. Hands-free. Number 4. When you're flying, you have to select Air Force or airplane mode. Well, the Air Force is in fact the one of the 3 armed forces, the Navy, the Army, and the Air Force. No, it's airplane mode. Airplane mode. I'm constantly getting pop-ups or updates for my phone's operating system, and I'm sure they're actually slowing it down. So if you're getting, in theory, something which is supposed to fix bugs on your phone, on your computer's operating system, or your phone's operating system in this case, to give you the latest version, is an update. Actually, again, one of the major smartphone manufacturers was criticised for this very thing, that the updates were slowing the phones down. Number 6, if you go to settings or configurations, you can change the date and time, among other things. Well, configuration is a synonym of setting, but the actual word we use generally is settings. Settings on your phone or indeed on your computer. Okay, now we're going to look at specifically computer language here, and this time I'd like you to match the words with the definition. So I saved the file on my desktop so that it would be easier to find it later. Desktop. What is the correct definition of desktop? You can look at A to F on the right-hand side. Is it a link to a program or application, usually represented by an icon, a secret word or string of characters, segment of code planted illegally in a computer program, primary display screen, contact using video conferencing, or a picture symbol that appears on the monitor screen? And the answer is, of course, it's the primary display screen. When you turn your computer on and put in your password, then you're normally taken to the desktop where you have all the icons, etc., for the programs that you need easy access to. Desktop. Next one, if you click on that icon, it will open the program you downloaded later. Of course, an icon is a picture or a symbol that represents a command. For example, you'll see a little picture for your antivirus, etc., and you click on it and it will open up your antivirus program. It's an icon. Much easier to find the program you're looking for if you create a shortcut, and that is A. The shortcut is related to an icon. You click on the icon and this is a shortcut to the program that you need to access. It's a quick way to access it. Shortcut. My PC has got a virus, so I've taken it to the technicians to fix it. The virus is, of course, C, self-replicating code planted illegally in the program, which basically we'll all be familiar with, prevents a computer from operating properly, etc. I've forgotten my password again, oh dear. I'll have to send an email to have them reset it. Again, of course, your password is a secret word or string of characters to gain access to your computer or similar device. We can also talk about passcode, which is more specifically symbols or numbers rather than the word. We usually have a combination of both in the more secure passwords. And then, of course, I often Skype my sister at the weekend. This is actually true. I live in Spain, in Catalonia. My sister, my family all live in Scotland, where I'm from. So I often Skype them and to contact them on the internet with where you can see the person physically, video conferencing software. And this is one of these situations where actually a brand has become a verb. We talk about hoovering, which is to vacuum the floor, which came from the company Hoover, who were one of the first to mass produce this machine. And nowadays, when people talk about Skyping, even if they do use different apps, so of course you do have other ones like FaceTime, and to FaceTime someone, and so on. Okay, next one. Which do you prefer, a tablet or a PC? If you can have a look at the definitions on the right-hand side, pause the recording if you need time to think. And you've got a picture of one there. The tablet is a very thin, portable computer with a touch screen, with a screen that you touch to operate it, and lacking, meaning without a keyboard and a lid, without a physical keyboard, a virtual keyboard. Next one. I accidentally spilt coffee on my keyboard, and so I had to buy a new one. On the keyboard is a typewriter style device with keys, buttons we use to input data into the computer. And then the next one, I got a suspicious file by email and decided to delete it immediately, means to strike out, to cancel, or to remove, to delete. I got a new wireless mouse, which is so much more comfortable to use. Wireless means that it has no cables connecting it to the computer, just like this one here. As you can see, there are no cables, whereas this mouse has got a cable. So this is a standard mouse, and this one is wireless, without cables. Whenever I'm traveling by train, I use my laptop to read my emails and finish any outstanding work. A laptop is, of course, a computer that sits on your lap. When you're sitting down, the tops of your legs is your lap. And it's, of course, a portable computer with a keyboard and a lid. A lid is like the top that you open a laptop. And finally, I'll have to contact the guys in IT. My computer's crashed again. Crashed is, of course, D. To shut down, freeze because of a malfunction, because it's not working properly. Okay. And finally, let's have a look at some phrasal verbs to do with technology. So complete the sentences. Here you have the phrasal verbs, and let's listen to the pronunciation first of all. Back up, cut off, go online, hack into, key in, log in, print out, scroll down, shut down, and top up. So here are, it's a nice little picture of a smart watch, an Apple Watch there. Man was found guilty of trying to the government department's computer systems to steal secrets, meaning to access illegally. And the answer is hack into. These people, of course, are called hackers. There's a big scandal at the moment about the accusation of the Russians of hacking into US computers and influencing the American presidential elections recently. Number 2, I'm going to some handouts, some documents with exercises on them for my students to take home with them. Well, in this case, of course, you print out some handouts. This is a separable phrasal verb, so you can say print them out or print out handouts. You can put the pronoun between the two. Hack into is not separable. You hack into something, you cannot hack something into. It's inseparable. Number 3, I was in the middle of a conversation when my mobile got blank and I had to call her back. Well, if your conversation, you're disconnected, is cut off. I got cut off. But cut off again is generally not separable, but you can deliberately cut someone off if you do it deliberately. Okay? Number 4, you will find the contact details if you scroll down to the bottom of the page. Scroll down. Number 5, I usually blank when I want to search for information on the internet, so meaning connect to the internet, and that is go online. Go online. A few more. So we've got the same list. It's important to something all your files on an external hard drive so you don't lose it. We've got a nice little external hard drive here where you can store all your files so that you've got a copy, so that if there's any problem, if your computer crashes, etc., you don't lose them. And of course, this is to back up all your files, and which is also separable. Back your files up is also possible. Back them up. Number 7, if you want to access the website, you'll have to something your username and password. So another word for enter is login, using your username and password. My mobile phone has run out of credit. It means I have no more money on the phone, so I can't make any calls. So I have to go to a shop and get extra money, credit put on the phone. I'll have to top it up at the newsagents. This is what we call, in Britain, we have a system called pay as you go. So your mobile phone, you use it, and when there's no money on it, you take it to a shop and you put extra money on it, you top it up. Number 9, I finished all my work for today, so I'm going to, well, basically close your computer, turn it off, shut down is the phrasal verb. And lastly, I tried to something my password, but the computer didn't recognize it. I tried to input it using the keyboard. And of course, that is key in my password. Okay, so that's it for this lesson on phones, computers, and technology. I hope that you found it useful. The next lesson will be lesson 38, and we'll be continuing the subject of conditionals that we looked at in lesson 36. And we'll be focusing mainly on alternatives to if, provided that, supposing, whenever, and all these other expressions that we can use. Okay, so thanks very much for listening. I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care, and bye-bye for now.